Someone asked me, what is the lesson flow? Paano ba? I mean, when you ask your child or children to come with you na mag-homeschool na kayo ng opo na, ano ba? Ano bang umpisa dyan? May intro ba? Or diretso na sa lesson? Or, you know, how would you do it? Now, before I share on how we do it, I just want to, to mention that there are actually 4 parts of a lesson plan. O, diba? Ayan, nagamit na natin ang aking pagiging teacher. Okay. Sa isang traditional classroom, merong 4 parts ang lesson plan. Okay. Yung una is the motivation. The motivation is when you try to set the mood of the class. It could be a question, it could be a story, but you know, you just say something na connected doon sa lesson. And hopefully, when you do this in the class, magkukuha niyo yung attention ng klase na parang ma-excite sila na, wow, okay, so matututunan ko pala to today. Or, aba, dito pala connected ang aming lesson. So, it's, you know, from the word itself, motivate. It should excite the student. It should make them feel na I want to listen to the lesson. Okay, so that's the motivation part. That is if you are in a traditional school. So after the motivation part, you go to the lesson proper. So ito na siya. Kumbaga sa sinigang, this is the meat part. Okay, this is the ito yung pinakamahaba na inaalat natin na time. So, kung ang klase nyo is 1 hour, most likely you will spend time, maybe siguro mga 30 to 40 minutes with your main lesson. Now, after you teach your main lesson, now you go to the assessment part. Ito yung mga quiz. Ito na yung get 1/4 sheet of paper. Okay? Ayan na siya. So, titingnan kung may understanding doon sa lesson. And last is if you have homework na gusto nyong ipagawa and something that they could just do at home just to make sure na talagang naunawaan at naintindihan nila yung lesson. So now this is in a traditional school, okay? Pero sa homeschooling, paano ba? Actually, you could also follow this. Medyo magiging redundant lang siya kung pare-pareho siya, and if you will do it for every subject. Imagine if you will do 3 subjects a day, 3 preps yun ng motivation, 3 preps ng lesson proper and all. Okay? So, how will you do it, especially if you have a grade 1 na hindi nyo naman yan pwedeng paupuin? Well, in my case, at least, I cannot make Crescent to sit down for 3 hours with that idea na motivation, lesson, and all. So, this is what we do. Okay? So, what I do is, I try to prepare lessons na pwede kong pagsabay-sabayin. Okay? Funny, if you would look at the grade 1 textbooks, magkakasabay yan most of the time ang English, Filipino, and social studies. Okay? For example, it talks about the family. Okay? I think may time na sa social studies, pinag-aralan namin yung family tree. Second quarter na yan, family tree. And then sa English niya, may lesson siya also, may short story siya on this, on animals, na pwede mo namang i-connect, okay? And also in Filipino, yung mga bagay na ganito. So I try to put lessons that I could incorporate, that they could go together, para yun na yung main lesson ko. And then for motivation, of course, ito to dapat ito yung beauty ng homeschooling. Kasi kung one-on-one, hindi mo iisipin kung ano ba yung magmo-motivate sa 40 students. Kasi in a classroom, imagine, there's only one motivation activity and the goal, dapat ma-motivate mo yung 40 sa klase or 20 or 50. In homeschooling, isa lang yung kailangan mong i-motivate. And since anak mo siya, alam mo what will excite him or her. So for us, kami ni Risen, ang usual motivation na, so that he would, excitedly come to me and sit down with me, is we would do something different first. Kanina, we bought books and it's all about Batman, okay? So, nag-color muna kami, and then when we colored, we try to identify the parts ni Batman, okay? Yung kanyang head, yung kanyang trunk, and yung kanyang limbs, kasi yan yung lesson niya sa science, So, medyo alam niya na kung saan, and then after that, nag-color pa kami, and since I like coloring, di pabor din kay mommy, diba? Then, after that, saka na kami pumunta sa aming main lesson, which is, again, yun nga, parts of the body. Yun yung sa science namin. And then we also read something in English that talks about, it's a story of the animals, pero swak pa rin kasi naman yung animals, meron naman din silang parte ng body. So, na-compare na namin na ano yung meron sa animals na wala sa humans, and meron sa humans na wala naman sa animals. So, ayun na siya. So, I guess the key here is really preparation and knowing kung ano yung mga lessons, okay, na meron ng anak mo, kung anong nandun sa textbook niya if you are using a textbook like for us, okay? So, yun siya. And then after that, for the motivation, well, Risen doesn't really like writing, but he knows he needs to write. So, ang motivation ang assessment namin kanina is I just asked him to write down 5 animals. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, he wrote it down. And then after that, I checked on the spelling and I corrected it, and then he wrote it again. And then again, I also asked him to stand up to identify his body parts and all. So yun siya. And then wala na kami homework kasi nga homeschooling naman kami. So present pa rin siya. We have the motivation, lesson proper assessment, and wala na homework unless pwede rin naman sa inyo, halimbawa, kung gusto nyo magpa-homework na, you can do this later, after lunch, or things like that. So, it really depends on you. So, I guess the really key here is knowing your lesson, because when you know your lesson, especially lessons that you could put together, pwede nyo lang isang lesson proper yun, and then one motivation lang. And alam nyo pa ba, I'll give you a tip. You know what? One thing that could actually motivate our kids is food. Kakatawa, no? Pero pagkain. So, sometimes, when I see Risen na parang, sluggish pa mag-homeschool, I will ask you, you wanna eat something first? So, una ang recess, okay? So, kain muna kami, we eat together, and then, saka na kami mag-homeschool. Okay? Yung mga ganong bagay. So, just make sure, siguro ang ano lang ay the thing that I want you guys to remember is that iwasan natin na yung pag-upo ng bata bukas agad ng textbook. Na parang, sige, ito na yung gagawin natin to, mag-ano ka dyan, mag-multiply ka dyan, tapusin mo to, page, ganto, na parang, parang kahit naman sino, di ba? You would want to be prepared first, that your mind and your heart is prepared to homeschool. So, when you do that, the motivation, lesson proper assessment, more or less, mas magaan, mas madali for the student to homeschool because he or she is ready. And nag-gauge nyo rin as early as the motivation part kung kamusta ba ang attitude ng inyong anak sa pag-homeschool. Okay, so sana, as always, sana nakakatulong ito. And I hope that, I could record more videos. Pag may tanong mag-PM lang, mag-DM, and I'll try to answer it and really think and pray about it so I could help you out with your journey. Thank you so much! This is Miko of Ready to Marry and to Mommy. Bye-bye!